What's up, guys? Here today with another Wi-Fi battle against my opponent Alamo. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this battle, bring my team. Going to go ahead and get my phone ready, snap a picture of his team, see what my opponent wants to bring. As we see, he brings the Keldeo, Florges, Galvantula, Charizard, Breloom, and Stantler. Shout out to that Stantler at the end. So here I could see my opponent wanting to lead with the Galvantula and get up the Sticky Web. At the same time, I could see... Not really sure. Galvantula would be the most obvious lead for him, of course, because of the Sticky Web. So I think I'm going to go ahead and lead with my Cincino, as I did last battle, just because if he wants to lead with his Galvantula, I'm pretty sure I outspeed and I'll be able to get off my Rock Blast, do damage to anything on his team, and take out that Galvantula. And if he does want to switch out, I can just U-turn if he doesn't have the Galvantula. You see the battle's going to go ahead and start right here, and we'll see what my opponent wants to lead with. You see he sends out the Toadsworth, which is the Breloom. So here, I could see the Mach Punch coming here. And in return, I'm going to go ahead and go for the U-turn. I'll go ahead and take the Mach Punch if I have to. As we see he doesn't go for the Mach Punch. I get off that U-turn and do a little over 50%. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and switch out to my Superior. Just in case he did go for a fighting type move, I don't want to switch out my Weavile just yet. You see my opponent's going to want to go out to the Spore, so that was a great move on my part. Wasn't able to get up his Spore. I'm going to go ahead and go for a Substitute right here, because if he wants to switch out, I'm going to get my Substitute up, and then I can start firing off Leaf Storms and build up my special attack. As we see, he goes out to the Charizard right here. So I'm in a pretty good position right here, as I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm. Not sure which Charizard he is yet, but at +2 it will be able to take out either one of his forms. As we see, he is a Charizard Y. I'm pretty sure I'm the Timitet, so he may outspeed on the following turn. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go for the Leaf Storm, as it does absolutely nothing, 4 times resisted. See, my opponent goes for the Fire Blast. That's definitely going to take out the Substitute. So at +2, I'm not sure if a non-stab Dragon Pulse would be able to take him out. But I really can't risk anything else at the moment, so I'm actually going to go out to my T-Rex, the Tyrantrum, because I know he's not going to want to stay in, and I can get up my Stealth Rocks unless he does want to go for the Solar Beam or something, which it is neutral. As we see, he does go for the Fire Blast, and that's ×4 resisted, and it still does a lot because it's in the sun, and it was a crit. So I'm going to get off my leftovers right here. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Stealth Rocks. That crit kind of set us back quite a bit. As we see, he's going to go for the Solar Beam right here, and that's probably going to take us out because Tyrantrum has no special defense. As we see, it does take us out. So, no Stealth Rocks for us this battle, which Tyrantrum was only able to do so much because of the fact that he did have the Breloom for the fighting type stab against my Tyrantrum. So I'm going to go ahead and go back out to my Cincino. Pretty sure I outspeed, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Rock Blast. It's going to do damage on anything that wants to switch in. As we see, I do outspeed, and I do land my Rock Blast as get the crit, so we get crit for crit. Which this is a skill link Cincino, so I would have easily got off the rest of my Rock Blast and taken that thing out. So crit did not matter on that one. We see my opponent goes back out to the Breloom. I'm going to go ahead and send out my Superior again because obviously Superior doesn't let this thing get off its spore. Sorry, I kind of losing my train of thought. I'm trying to think multiple turns ahead right now. As you see, my opponent does go for the spore again, and the sunlight does fade. So here, looking at the rest of his team, I really have nothing to lose going for a Leaf Storm. Want to set up as soon as possible while I can. We'll see what my opponent wants to switch out into. As you see, he sends out Charlotte, the Galvantula. We're going to get off this Leaf Storm. Almost wish I would have went for the substitute right there, but we're going to see what my opponent wants to go for right here. I'm going to set up the sub this turn to see if my opponent wants to go for the sticky webs or not. To see my opponent goes for the bug buzz. That was a bad play on my part. Completely forgot that bug buzz goes through the substitute. And here I'm actually gonna go looking at the rest of his team, thinking I'm actually gonna go Charizard. Yeah. Gonna go Charizard and go ahead and Mega Evolve and go for the Fire Punch. Could have set up right there, but no need to. In case he wanted to switch, I could get off as much damage as possible. But a Thunder won't be able to take this thing out. As we see, my opponent does go for the Thunder. We'll see how much this does. It doesn't do a whole lot. Hopefully I don't get the paralysis. As I don't, we're going to get off this Fire Punch, and it's definitely going to be enough to take out this spider. Now here I could see my opponent going out into the Keldeo if it's Specs or Scarf, getting off a Hydro Pump. So my opponent is down on the Galvantula and the Charizard. As you see, my opponent goes back out to the Breloom. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Fire Punch. He may have the Rock Tomb for me. If he does outspeed, which he actually switches to go out to the Florigist, which the Florigist is not going to appreciate a Fire Punch. So at that, I'm wondering if my opponent carries the Toxic on this Florigist. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dragon Dance because I'm pretty sure I could live, as he does go for the Protect, pretty much allowing me to set up right here. As we see, I get off my Dragon Dance. And at +1, definitely going to be enough to take this Florigist out and the rest of his team. So we're going to go ahead and go for another Fire Punch. As I said, +1 Adamant Tough Claws should definitely be enough to take this thing out, as it is. So now my opponent has the Stantler, Keldeo, and Breloom left. As you see, the Keldeo does switch out. If it's Scarf, this thing will outspeed me, but I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dragon Claw because his Dragon Resist is gone. See, the Dragon Claw is enough to take it out in one hit. My opponent is left with the Stantler and the Breloom. See, he sends out the Stantler. I'm not quite sure what this thing is want to do. I don't think I've ever faced this thing in a battle. But it does carry the Intimidate to knock me back down to neutral. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dragon Claw. It doesn't resist it. The Dragon Claw did the job. And now all he has left is the Breloom. I'm pretty sure I outsped that the last time it was in. So with that, I'm going to go for the Fire Punch and take this thing out. See, I go first, land the Fire Punch, and that is a good game. thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, see you guys later.